Yeah, there it is, live. Oh yeah. Look at that. Woo. Oh man. Um, yeah, I'm live. I'm sending a shout out to somebody. Yeah, my biggest fan right now. Oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, look at this. I've got a tank top on and everything else. Why? Oh, a whole lot of shit. Let's see. It's been a weird week. And it's also been an interesting week. It's been a painful week. Let me tell you. Um, First off, I got called on a job. And it was a guy, he actually contacted me last week. And that was when I was having all my medical issues, the shit that was going on. So we spoke on Monday and he's like, "Oh, I got this perfect job for you. You've got the perfect, background and all this other stuff for a AS400 I-Series job, RPG, which, that's my area of expertise. It was in Northern Virginia near the DC area. I forget, he told me the town. I think it's north of like the DC Triangle in Northern Virginia. So you're close to DC, but not actually in the District of Columbia. And he told me the job, what you're actually looking at starting at like $95,000. And he told me you probably, with your experience, would start at like $100,000. And I told him, I said, yeah, it would have to be, I know what the cost of living in that area is. Well, of course, I haven't heard a thing back, which doesn't surprise me. The guy had my resume and everything else, but I've not heard a thing back. No emails, nothing. It's like I told him. I said, no one's going to hire a 62-year-old woman. Much as we would like to say there is no age discrimination, there's age discrimination. Yeah, there is. No one wants to hire a 62-year-old programmer because they figure 5 years from now I'm going to retire. What they don't know is for the $500,000 they would pay me for those 5 years, I'd give them a lot more experience than they're going to gain by finding someone who can't do the shit I do and trying to train them. It's going to cost them more in the long run, but hey. The first thing that started crossing through my mind was like, am I going to have to give up Derby? No, seriously, I did. I was like, I don't want to, if I move, though, I got to give up Derby. It's between I need money and I need money bad. I mean, I still got like $3,400 in the bank right now, so I'm still good. But yeah, there was one year my wife and I, our combined income was $103,000. That's the most money we've ever made. I've ever made. Our combined income was $103,000. Yeah. And both of us were kind of surprised by that. We were like, holy shit. It doesn't seem like we have any money, but we made $103,000 last year. Yeah, we got close on a few occasions. There was a while there where we were hitting like 90,000 constantly. Generally speaking, last few years that I worked, I was making about $75,000 a year, between 72 and 75,000 a year. My last year that I worked, I made 72. It was like 72,300. I think the most I made with the state of Pennsylvania was my first full year. I made over $76,000. And actually, when I was working at Solaire, my last couple of years, I was making like over $80,000. No, I take that, but no, we made a combined of like $89,000. That's what it was. We made a combined. So the last few years when I was married, my wife and I, we were pulling down the 90s. We were in the 95,000 range. And then the one year, we made $103,000, and we were both kind of shocked by that. It's like, we made over $100,000 and we have no money. Yeah. Geez. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I'm still applying for jobs, but it's just getting so frustrating anymore. And I haven't heard it. I didn't contact Social Security this week. I haven't heard anything. So I got to contact them and say, when am I going to start collecting? Because I think I'm going to have to. But my job at Monsters and Critics, this week starting Monday, I actually have written 3 recaps and 2 articles. That's $80. And I will likely write another recap tomorrow, which will bring my total for a week to $100. And that's the most I've ever made writing. The most I've ever made on my novels is about $60 total. And I once sold 4 stories for $40. But yeah, I'm at $80 for this week. And if I do my last recap tomorrow, it'll be for Black Mirror. I'll make $100 for this week. And then I'll have another recap on Monday. So that's $120. And then write a few more articles. I'll actually, by this time next week, I should be over $150. And like I said, it's kind of my goal to get as close as I can to $300 this month, so that when my pension comes through, you add that $300 to that $482 that I pull in, and it's almost $800 for the month, and that's my rent. It really is. That's my rent. So that'll take a hell of a burden off my bank account. Yeah. That'll actually be my rent for June. If I can get close to $300, that'll be close to my rent for June. Yeah. I won't have to take that much money out of my bank account to pay for my rent. So. Yeah, and if I gauge it correctly, I'll end up with probably around $2,900 after I pay rent for July. So that still looks pretty good. And if I can do something similar for August, that'll keep me going pretty good. I just got to keep writing, got to keep doing, keep that writing going. That is going to help. That is going to help a lot. So, and I was really surprised getting in and writing. And I've been spending, when I write these recaps, especially for Black Mirror, I'm spending like 3 hours putting this shit together. I don't know what kind of hits I'm getting. I'll probably find out at some point. But yeah, I'm generating straight cash. So let's keep it going. But yeah, everything I write, it's been taking me like 2-3 hours to write this stuff. And I even told Rachel, it's like, you don't want to sit there and go, wait a minute, I just spent 3 hours to make $20. Yeah, it's minimum wage. But I'm sitting at home in my underwear, my pajamas writing this shit. I even posted a picture where I'm just sitting in my easy chair and I said, believe it or not, I'm working. because I was watching episode 1 of Black Mirror season 5. You know, it's like I got to watch it before I can recap it. And I said, "Yeah, I'm working," and I'm like still in my pajamas and my cami, you know. So you can sit there and go, "Well, yeah, I spent. You actually end up between getting everything together and watching the show. It's about 3.5 hours to make $20, and people might go, "Oh, yeah, that's not a lot of money. That's like $5 an hour." Yeah, but I didn't get out of my easy chair. It's $5 an hour I spent sitting in my chair watching television and then writing shit. I'll take it. Actually, it worked out to about $7 an hour, so it's minimum wage. I'll take it. Just got to keep writing shit. I got to keep writing those articles. I got to come up with stuff. I find I'm actually better at recapping than like trying to come up with articles. I need to get out there and look to see what's trending. It's like I'm becoming an entertainment reporter. It's a new gig for me, baby. Skating. Well, good and bad. I went to practice on Wednesday night. Because I didn't go to practice last Sunday because I was injured. I was like in a lot of pain last Sunday. I really was. And it's been frustrating. I've been in a lot of pain most of this week. The pain shifted down to my right hip. And you could actually feel where the muscle had knotted. Thursday, I went and got a therapeutic massage from someone I know. She's really good. And she worked on it. And she said, "Oh, God, yeah, you can just feel how knotted the muscle is." And I told her if I'm walking or if I'm doing stuff, it doesn't bother me. But the minute I stand still and put weight on this leg, it begins to hurt. And she says that's because that's a weight-bearing muscle. You know, that's the problem. That muscle that's all knotted up, she says that's a weight-bearing muscle. So when you're walking, you're transferring weight and you're stretching that muscle. So it's not having to bear as much of the load, it's sharing it with the rest of your body. But when you stop and you stand still, it has to bear the weight. And that's when it knots up and the pain starts. So, and I've been real frustrated with this. I went to practice on Wednesday. And as long as I was moving, I was fine. But oh my God, the minute I stopped moving and had to stand and listen and while the coach spoke and everything, and all of a sudden it just starts throbbing like mad. It did. It got so bad. I had to go off the track a couple of times and actually kind of like lay down and stretch. Because it was hurting. It really was. And even Rugby, she was like, "Is your butt bothering you?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Why don't you just lay down and make it feel better?" I was like, "Yeah, I know. But yeah, so it hurt. And so I didn't go to practice Thursday night. In fact, Thursday was really crazy. I went and got that massage, and I took an hour massage. And when I get a massage from this person, her name's Alana, and she does massages on her own on the side. It just wears you out. On top of which, I came home. I felt like I was coming. I felt like I was coming down with a cold. So about 4 o'clock, About 3:30, 4 o'clock, I laid down and I woke up, and it's hard to tell what time it is anymore because it doesn't start getting dark until like around 8 o'clock, 8:30. So I wake up and I'm trying to figure out what time it is. And finally I crawl out from under the covers and I look at my phone and it's 6:45. I was out for like 2.5 hours. And I told Lynette, I said, oh God, I feel like I'm coming down with a cold and everything else. So I like devoured vitamin C and kept the fluids coming. And I said, I didn't actually eat until almost 8 o'clock, which is about the time I would normally leave for practice on a Thursday night. And I was just like, I'm not going. I can't go. It would have been too much. So, and I'm kind of in it right now in a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Now, the hip has been getting better. Yesterday, it was really improving. It was sore when I got up in the morning. And I think that's partially because I'm laying on it. But I'm learning now, don't put any weight on it. So I'm kind of like balancing all my weight on my left leg and keeping the weight off my right leg. And that seems to help. So I had said yesterday, it feels a lot better. My leg feels a lot better. So what I'm going to do is I want to go try out my new outdoor wheel. So I think I'm going to go down to the Overlook Park tomorrow morning. And I was saying this yesterday to Lynette. I said, I think I'm going to go down tomorrow in the morning and skate outdoors. I said, I just got to get out and do something. I really do. Only one practice this week. And I haven't, since I had the injury and everything else, I haven't been doing any more PT. I hadn't actually taken up and started doing any more exercise. But I said, I need to get out and do some activity. Simply because I was really out of it Wednesday. I was. I had only done... I did 2 practices the week before, but Wednesday night, boy, I was at like maybe 85%. I mean, between my hip hurting and just not having any endurance, I think, and part of it was I felt dehydrated. I hadn't drank enough water, and the humidity and the heat are starting to come up in the Dutch oven. And it's not good. And I was struggling. I had several moments when I was struggling to go. So I really was probably at about 85% of what I normally am for a practice. And part of it was my hip was throbbing real bad. This muscle was throbbing real bad when I got back home. And it was still throbbing when I went to bed. It wasn't that bad the next day, but, I wanted to keep weight off of it and everything else. And like I said, I noticed Friday that if it did start to bother me and I sat down, the pain went away completely after about 5 minutes of sitting. So I would do that. I would come and do stuff on my feet, then come and sit for like 5 minutes and go do stuff. So anyway, like I said, today I wanted to get out. And I had told Lynette, I said, I want to go down to the Overlook. I want to skate. I like the paths down on the Overlook because you have a variety of terrain. You have a variety of choices. You can actually skate on the road if you want. May not be advisable, but you can skate on the road. And I said, I just want to get out and do stuff. And I do have these new outdoor wheels, and they're on my skates now. And I wanted to try them out. So this morning, I was actually up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I left here around 6 to drive to Lancaster. So I arrived at the Overlook at about 7 o'clock. Yeah, it was. I think by the time I was all geared up and ready to go, it was like 7:07 or something like that. And when I go out to gear up, when I go out to skate outdoors, I gear up completely. The only thing I don't wear is my mouth guard, but I got everything else on. I just there's no way in hell I'm skating without full gear on. One of my teammates, she actually was like skating outside in front of her house one day, and she had on her knee pads, and she fell and she broke her elbow, and it was like that was it. She was unable to do contact for like a few months. So when I say I skated 4 laps of the Overlook, basically you skate out on the trails and then you come back to the parking lot, to the Dutch Oven parking lot, the Overlook Community Center, where we skate. That's what I consider like a lap. And there's a skate park in the back. So I did like a couple of laps, which were first lap was 1.4 miles. I actually checked this all out. The first lap was 1.4 miles, and the second lap was 1.66 miles. And then I went into the skate park because there was nobody there. I mean, it was nobody. And I tried doing a couple of the ramps, and there's like the little ramp you go up and you come off, and I was able to do that. Go up it a little bit, then skate off. It's like, oh yeah. And then there's a flat ramp where you go up top and then come down. And I got up to the top of that ramp and turned around. I was like, okay, I'm going to come down. And, oh man, it's just a little ramp. And I ate ass. I did. I hit the flat, and all of a sudden my skates went out from underneath me. And, I just got, basically when that happens, you get a knee under you. That's it. You go down on your knee and you slide a little bit. And that's all I did. It's not like skating out at a bowl. And that's another thing I want to do. One of these mornings real early, I want to go out to Steelton and skate the bowl out. Try to skate the bowl out there. I'll probably kill myself if I go by myself. But Chicks and Bowls is actually going to have something out there at the end of the month. And yeah, I'd really like to go to that. But there's also practice that same day, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, yeah, I go out and I get on the trails, and I have my outdoor wheels on. And I'm going to show you the difference between my outdoor wheels and I'm going to get my skates out here. Well, I'm going to get one of my skates out. They got real dusty. Let me tell you, my skates got real dusty. There was a lot of dust out there today. So, yeah, here we go. So, I got the wheel with the chunk taken, with the chunk out of it. Are you a trans? I don't know. Am I a trans? A trans what? My transformer? Is that what we're talking about? Like Optimus Prime? Is that what you're asking? Are you a trans? Are you a jackass? So anyway, this is what my outdoor wheels look like. As you can see, they're big and pink, and they are kind of, there's no grooves in them. And they are very soft. These are actually 78As, which means they get pretty good grip on just about any surface. So this is what you're skating on, or this is what I was skating on today. This is my normal wheel. This is what I skate on in the rink. And it's a lot thinner. It's also a lot harder. Come on, guys, don't fight on my feed. It's a lot harder. This is a 78A, which is a durometer reading for the softness of rubber or the hardness of rubber. This is a 95A. So this is what I use inside. That has a groove on it. You can kind of hear when my nail runs over it. It's also a lot lighter. This is a very light wheel. In case you hadn't noticed, this wheel is actually designed for speed, which is something I need when I'm on the track. So, whereas this, that's like solid rubber. And it's designed to cushion impact. That's really how it works. It's designed to be, to absorb all the shocks from this stuff you're skating over, like little stones and grooves and the track and everything else. But man, there was a lot of dust out there. Really, my wheels are all dusty, and my skates were all dusty too. So with these, you basically don't have to worry. Oh yeah, it did. It felt really good being back out on skates today. Excellent. I had to pause once before I really got going because I couldn't get my music to come online. And so what I did was I sat down and I finally got YouTube to come up on my phone so I could listen to stuff, and I had my earbuds in. And I did the first lap out with Chicago, some old Chicago from Chicago Transit Authority playing. But there was one point where I was really just cruising along with Bizarre Love Triangle from New Order playing. And it was like one of those moments where it just, hits like that. You're just like, all of a sudden, okay, I'm in the groove. And I was loving the wheels because I remember when I was out there skating on my 84s the last time. Let me tell you, there's one stretch on... Take care, dude. There's one stretch where you're going kind of like down a slight incline. And if you push it, you are flying. You seriously are. You really do get flying pretty fast. And it can be kind of intimidating. Especially, I have a tendency, I don't know why, there's this thing I do when I'm skating outdoors where I'll seem to take my right foot and push it forward. And I don't know why I do that. But yeah, there's a couple of spots on the overlook track where, yeah, you got to go uphill and you got to struggle. You got to push to get uphill. But there's also a couple of spots where you're going downhill and you are just flying. And you feel the breeze and everything else. And it's a lot of fun. So like I said, I did a couple of laps, and I went into the skate park And I hit the ramps a couple of times. And as they say, I ate ass when I went down. I was just like, I got brave. I'm gonna try this. Probably if I go back and skate again, I'll try that again. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna try this. But one of these days, I'm gonna go to a bowl and try this. And then I took a real long lap. And that was where I actually got on the road and skated past the golf course and went all the way out to Lince Pike and stopped there for like 5 minutes to have a drink of water. I took one of my water bottles like this with me. And then skated back to the overlook. And really, you could feel the difference between the outdoor wheels and the Poison 84s that I had skated on last time outside. There's speed bumps coming in. There's speed bumps on the roads all through the overlook. And in order to go from Lince Pike to the actual skating area, the Dutch oven, you have to go over 4 speed bumps. And they have the stuff in the surface where it's letting you know, here's the speed bump, slow up. When I skated over those with my 84s, you could feel it when you hit the raised paint area, even though it's raised like maybe that much, you could feel it. You'd hit that raised paint and you could feel it in your feet as your skate wheel was going over it. Now with these, baby, I flew over those speed bumps today. I did. I was flying over those speed bumps today. I was coming back into the park from Lince Pike, listening to the Go-Go's We Got the Beat, and I had the wind behind me. It was pushing me. And I was like screaming. I was probably pushing the speed limit on the road, which is 15 miles an hour. And I definitely was zipping along at something like that. It really was. I was zipping along probably at about 15 miles an hour. And then I came up to that first speed bump and just went over it and kept going. Even going into the parking lot, which is really kind of rough, it wasn't as bad. When I did it on my Poison 84s, you could feel every bump. This time, not so much. And little stones, you could feel them like popping and moving off to the side when you come through. You always avoid the big stones because you hit those will send you flying. You'll Superman on those damn things. And when I mean big stones, I'm talking about something like that big. You hit that with a skate wheel, you'll stop. Well, your skate will stop. You'll keep going. But the good thing was I never once tripped up. I skated the entire time around the park, never once fell. The only time I fell was in the skate park when I was trying to come down the ramp, and I don't count that. But when I was out on the road and out on the trails, it was beautiful. It was really just like zipping along. No pain in this muscle. I mean, I was working it. I was working it hard. No pain at all in the muscle. Just a little bit. If I stood up and started, doing shit, after a while, you'd start to feel that nagging pain come on. So what I did was, open up the back of my CRV, the hatchback, and de-geared that way. I stayed active. And, and when I would stop, I would sit down. There was none of this, I'm going to stop and stand here on the side of the road. But, oh, man, it was beautiful out there. And I only skated for about an hour. Well, actually, let's put it that way. I was out for about an hour, but I figured out that I probably skated about 40 minutes. And I always do this. When I come back, I bring up Google Earth and I start laying out the path of where I went and all this other stuff. And it's like, how far did I skate? I skated 7.63 miles in about 40 minutes. Yeah. I mean, that's not as fast as my fastest teammates. They could cover that in nothing. But oh my God. It was wonderful. And I mean, I wasn't pushing as hard as I might have if I was doing like some massive cardio during a practice, but there were a couple of times where I was really pushing it hard going up the hills. You know, come around the corner and then you're pushing hard to get to the top of the hill, then coming down. Yeah, a couple of places I took it nice and easy. And it was good. It was really good. I was surprised by that. 7.63 miles. almost 12 and a half kilometers. I have to look. I've actually got it on my 12.27 kilometers. I take that back. Yeah, 12.27 kilometers. That's actually pretty good. In 40 minutes time. And that wasn't even like pushing it as hard as I could. I mean, I could have exhausted myself if I wanted to. But the fact is, I was actually at one point, well, 2 points actually singing while I was skating, which is something. I mean, I was skating along pretty good. You know, not flat out, but I was singing as I was skating. My cardio is much better, but I need to get it even better. I had remarked at practice on Wednesday that not having the Monday practice has kind of made me lazy. And like I said, between being injured and it being the off season, I haven't been working out as much. You know, I got this membership to Planet Fitness, and I need to go there and start working on my cardio. I need to start working on strength again. It's something I can do. And home team season starts next month. It starts in like 6 weeks. I want to be ready for it. I don't want to be this person who is out of shape. I want to get on that team and I want to be ready for it. And the only way I can do that is I've got to start working out now to do it. You know, I'm not one of these 25-year-old girls who are in great shape to start with, or it won't take them long to get into great shape. But yeah, that's where I want to be. I want to be on the home team this year, and I got to get in shape for it. So I don't mind taking like a Saturday morning and skating, going down to the Overlook and skating there. I really do like it. And part of the reason why I wanted to get down there was some of my teammates went out the other night and skated. They skated, I think it was last Tuesday night. And I really wanted to go, but I was not in a good shape. So that's why I said the first chance I get, I'm going to go out and I want to try these new wheels out. And today was the day to do that. And as I told Lynette, I said, I'm going Saturday morning. I'm driving down there. I'm going to skate the park and then I'm going to come back. I did. It was great. So it's kind of a habit I'd like to get into. I mean, it's even something like if I wanted to foolishly go down before practice and skate. I wouldn't want to skate 7 miles, but I know like one of my teammates once, she was like, I'm going to go skate a lap of the Overlook before I come into practice because I'm kind of nervous about practice. And see, now we're kind of like in that position where, well, from the parking lot, one lap around is about a mile. It's about a mile and a quarter, which we can skate in about 7 minutes. Is really, we can skate that in like 7 minutes, if we're not even pushing it. If we are pushing it, yeah, we could skate it in 6 minutes. But yeah, we can skate a mile and a quarter in about 7-8 minutes. Not a problem. There you go. You skate off and you come back. And if you want to take your time, then you do it in 15 minutes, But there's, I found, I'll have to try this the next time I go down. I found a path that I could probably do a trail, a route that would end up being probably about 4 miles for a full lap without going out on Lynn's Pike, where all the traffic is. Without going out on Lynn's Pike, I could probably skate a 4-mile lap, close to it. I'm going to check it out on Google Earth. But yeah, I could probably do like close to a 4-mile lap inside the park. And but check it out. It's not all inside the park. Let's just put it that way. But I think I've got to work on this. I got to see. But I think it's possible. There you go. And now that I got my outdoor wheels, man, I'm going to use them. And if I get up, it's even one of those things. It's like, if I get up early Sunday morning, I don't feel like going to practice, but it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. It takes me about 10 minutes to put my wheels on. And I could just gear up and skate down 2nd Street. I could skate down 2nd Street and then come back on 1st Street. And there's no traffic. Not in Harrisburg at 6 o'clock in the morning. There's nobody out on the roads. So I could literally skate like 1.5 miles or 2 miles north and then just turn around, come down Front Street and just skate as fast as I want because there's nobody on the highway. The other thing to check out too is they paved the south end of the Riverwalk, the green belt actually. I wonder how smooth that is. I hate to get out there. And the green belt's hit or miss. I've tried it. The Riverwalk part is not too bad, although they've torn it up lately. And there's a lot of up and down hill shit that you got to deal with. But yeah, Overlook is really nice because you don't have to worry about crossing roads. And the roads that are in the park, nobody's supposed to be going that fast on them anyway. But yeah, it was fun. I had a lot of fun. I wish we had a park like that around here where it had a bunch of nice trails and you could go fast. But I was going fast. I was really surprised. And then the thing is, when you're going uphill, those wheels stick to the ground real well. So when you're pushing off, they're bigger wheels too. So you're going a little bit slower. They're a lot stickier. But I love the outdoor wheels now. I did not have a problem getting over obstacles. I didn't have a problem hitting stuff. After a while, you just like, oh, That's it. I go up to this point. There's like all these little stones there, and you just buzz right through them. I mean, you can actually feel them like popping off your wheels as you're going by. And the only situation I had was there were a lot of people out walking dogs, and a couple of the dogs lunged at me, and I was like, "Don't do that. Don't want to mess with me." Yeah, a couple of dogs lunged at me. I always wonder about people. They got their dogs on a leash, but when they gotta like pull their dogs 20 feet off the path because they're afraid their dogs are actually going to lunge at you. It's like, maybe you should be doing something else with that pet. Yeah, I just kept skating fast and staying away from people. I had a couple of instances where I had people coming at me, or I was coming at them. It was more like, and I had to move. I had one where I had to pass a couple who were walking. They were going in the same direction I was. So when I passed them, I was still about like 30 feet out, and I'm yelling, "I'm on your left!" And the woman jumped. I mean, literally jumped. You don't hear me coming up. Those wheels don't make any noise. But yeah, I was like, "I'm on your left." I didn't want them like stepping out in front of me as I was going by, because I was actually going by at a pretty good clip at that point. It was fun. I had fun this morning, even though I know I'm going to regret it. I mean, I've been up for it's noon right now, and I've been up for 7 hours, and I feel pretty good. I still have to take I have to take a bath because I'm all grimy and shit right now. I am. I'm all grimy and stuff. So I didn't work up a huge sweat, but I got a sweat going. But yeah, I had great fun. It's something. My teammates that live down in the Lancaster area, it's one of the advantages they have is they can go out and skate outdoors. They have, they just go out on roads and stuff like that and skate. And then the overlook is right there. So if they want to, they can drive over to the overlook and, just, skate the paths. I mean, it's easy to do 5 miles worth of skating at the overlook in 30 minutes if you want. And I think that's what kind of surprised me was when I was looking at that, I was like, oh my God, this is over 7.5 miles I skated today. And I don't even feel it. I remember the first time I skated 6 miles last April. I skated 6 miles on the Riverwalk, and I was dead. I was dead, man. I was. And yeah, you're skating downhill. There's downhill sections that you skate. But you know what? If there's a downhill section, that means you have to skate an uphill section. And there were quite a few uphill sections I was skating too. So it all evens out. You can't constantly go downhill. But it is fun skating. You're on your skates and you're going downhill, and it's like, whee! You're moving. It is a lot of fun, and I feel a lot more stable now, and I feel a lot more confident with my outdoor wheels. It was good. I like it. Now I want to get together with some of my teammates and skate, but I'll probably at some point. at some point, probably this afternoon. I've got my gear outside drying out. But at some point this afternoon, before I repack my gear bag, I'll have to put my other wheels back on. And this was something else. Dash had even said this. She said, instead of changing your wheels all the time, which you'll get real tired doing, just go buy a cheap pair of skates. Buy like a pair of R3s or some darts from Rydell for like $100. And since I get a discount, it would only end up costing me like about $80 for those skates. And she said, put your outdoor wheels on those, and that's it. Tape up the toe, and there's your outdoor skates. And she said, that's what they have. I noticed that when I went skating with Dash and Venom, they both have outdoor skates. And it's like, yeah, just get a cheap pair of skates because you don't want to tear your bonds up. My bonds, the boots alone, the main part of the skate is $250. Do you really want to tear those up skating outdoors? I was even like, Jesus, these things are all dusty. They're all dirty. So that was their recommendation. They said, spend $100, get a cheap pair of skates, and use them just for outdoor skating. She said, what the hell? Because they don't have to be high performance. They just have to be able to hold your outdoor wheels. And so I'm kind of looking at that. I'm kind of looking at, well, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll just get a cheap pair of skates, spend the $85, $90, get a pair of skates, throw my outdoor wheels on those, and then that's it, Then all I got to do is pull my bonds out of my gear bag and throw my outdoor skates in there, and I'm ready to go. It's just repack my gear bag, and it takes 5 minutes. And then my bonds become indoor skates, and the only time I need to change the wheels is because of the floor I'm playing on. Like next Saturday. Yeah, next Saturday I'm going to be going to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania to play in a scrimmage. In fact, at this time next week, I will be on the road going to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I'll be doing an open scrimmage with Two Rivers Roller Derby. And this will be the first open scrimmage I've been to since Battle of the Freshies, which was technically an open scrimmage that you had to sign up for. Well, I had to sign up for this, and it's going to cost me $5 to skate. So I'm doing it because it's experience, For that bout, I'm probably going to put my poisons on. I'm probably just going to put my 84s on because I'll be blocking. I'm not going to be doing any jamming or anything like that. So I won't be a jammer, probably won't be a pivot, but I'm going to put my poisons on because I know what kind of floor it is. It's polished concrete, and it may be a little slick. It's probably going to be slick for my 95s. And my poisons. That's what I'm going to put on my skates before I go to that bout. So probably what I'll do is this coming Friday, since my gear bag will be unpacked, because if I go to practice on Thursday, I'll have to pull my gear out to let it dry. And what'll end up happening is before I repack my gear bag, I'll just put my poisons on, which you can use as indoor skates. That's my go-to, like, okay, I'm blocking and I'm probably going to be on a slick surface, so that's what I'm going to do. And the last time I was at this roller rink, one of my teammates then, she broke her wrist. She broke her wrist. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm just going to be a blocker. So, just a blocker. It's more to being a blocker than being just a blocker. Okay. There you go. Things are good. I'm in a good mood. As you can tell, I'm getting tired. A combination of being up early and being up early and exercising. Still haven't. Really surprised. I'm really surprised I went out and did that. So 7.63 miles. Jesus, 7 2/3 miles. I'm really surprised I did that this morning. I'm just gonna do a few laps around the overlook. Oh, it's over 7.5 miles I skated. Oh, I love that. Okay, well, I'll talk to you later. Everybody have a good time, and I will see you next week. Bye.